Door rabbet is the next definition, and door rabbet is, they also refer to just C rabbet. We'll talk about what a door rabbet is and where you would encounter it, and also probably just allude to what a frame rabbet is as well. I don't know the etymology of the word rabbet. To me it's very unusual. I would imagine that it's in my dictionary, but I'm not sure what it is. I just know it to mean something on the door and something on the frame, not dissimilar, not very different, but they look the same. So let's switch to the screen view. Let's talk more about door rabbet. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, door rabbet. First of all, C rabbet. So let's go down into the R's. Okay, on a frame, the area that is between the stop and the face, capable of accepting doors, panels, or glazing materials, also referred to as door rabbet. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Well, I get what they're saying. If someone said a door rabbet, I wouldn't be thinking about a frame. I'd be thinking about a door. If someone said rabbeted edge, I would definitely be thinking about a door. If just someone said the word rabbet, I would definitely be thinking an element of a frame. So let's go back to where we were in the D's. Let's take a peek at this. There are 4 door edges that I think of all the time. Well, there are 4 door edges that when I'm thinking of door edges that I think of. I don't think of door edges all the time. Square edge doors, beveled edge doors, radiused edge doors, and rabbeted edge doors. Okay, so door rabbet to me does not mean any element of a frame. Double rabbeted frame, single rabbeted frame, no rabbeted frame, cased opening. So let's just get rid of the cased opening. Double rabbet, obviously, there's 2 of these. Over here, there's 1 of these. So let's just consider them, for this definition, the same type of element. Doesn't matter, one's a single rabbet and the other's a double. Why someone would want a single rabbet frame? Very likely that the jam depth is so small, like 3-inch, that you can't have a double rabbet frame. I've got a client who builds crane cabs, cab control areas that are on cranes, and their wall thickness is so thin, like 2 1/4, that they're always single rabbet frames, really tiny little doodads. So let's just get rid of some of this extra elements, and we'll just leave it as a double rabbet. Now, when someone says door rabbet, I'm not thinking about an area on a frame. I'm thinking about the edge of a door. That's a rabbeted edge. So what'll happen here is you can have a rabbeted edge in a single door, and there's a reason for that, and I'll show you that reason. You can have a rabbeted edge in a pair of doors. There's a reason for that. Makes a nice way to close off the gap between the 2 doors. Also, what's really common is a rabbeted edge on a top rail of a door. Sorry, I am so awful. That is supposed to be straight. Transom panel, door, rabbeted edge at the top. And where the term comes from, again, I don't know. But if you know the frame, this is called a rabbet. For whatever reason, it's called a rabbet. You can always remember what the door edge is, because if you look at what I've circled, and you'll look at what I've circled, they kind of look the same. So a rabbeted door edge, a rabbet on a frame, they kind of look the same. I think of rabbeting is when you are going to mortise an area of material where you are not plowing through the material, but you're taking off some of the exterior material. So if I was going to further this argument, and I had a door edge, this is a door, this is the bottom of a door, here's your threshold, here's maybe a door sweep. So if I was going to take this door and prep it for an automatic door bottom, a concealed automatic door bottom, I would mortise the door for that. I would mortise the door, so it would end up looking like that. If I were to take a surface mounted door bottom, I would mount it right here. But if I were to take a surface mounted door bottom, I wanted it flush with my door, the face of my door, I would mortise it. I wouldn't rabbet it. I would mortise it. Well, forgive me, I would rabbet it. I would call that a rabbet because I would go all the way through. So that would be a mortise. That would be a rabbet. Now let's take a look at an example of when a rabbeted door edge would be used. So it's really handy to have rabbeted door edges when you have pairs of doors, but you'll also see it in single doors. And this is exactly where you'll see it, where you have interlocking weather stripping. This is also a really great example of the difference between a rabbet and a mortise. The header and the lock style, the door will have a rabbet done in it, and that's to account for this nested interlocking weather stripping. This little hook, which is attached to the door, nests into the larger hook, which is nailed to the rabbet of the frame. Rabbet of the frame. This is a mortise. You could probably call it a kerf as well. You would kerf the edge of the door for that. But kerf, I think of on the frame, and a mortise I would do on the door, I think, for hardware. So this would be a mortise, that would be a rabbet. What's the difference? I'm removing all the material to the face in this application all the way through the workpiece. Now, if I were to do a hinge prep on the edge of a door, I'm not going to rabbet the door edge. I've got a door, edge, there's my door. I would mortise that. Okay, that'd be a mortise in the edge of the door. If I were to do this preparation down the entire edge, I would call it a rabbet. Is it possible I'm wrong? Yes, absolutely. But those are just the definitions as I understand that. So when it comes to door rabbet, I would be thinking about the door. I wouldn't be thinking about the frame, but you can always remember what the frame part is called because it looks like the edge of a door. Door reveal, really important definition. Really, really, really important in some instances, that if you're in the door business, you're going to absolutely want to know what that means, because that's a gotcha. That's a point that you could get in trouble with. You always have to be thinking about the door reveal in certain applications. Let's go on and talk about that now. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.